Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. Welcome to a wonderful, thrilling Thursday of Revels Week. Hi there, Deli. Hello, Kathy M. Hi, Mabel. Hi, and your friend. Hi, Dan. Hi, Kate. Hi, Sarah in Texas. Hello, Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Al. Hi, Busy. Hi, Carolyn Quant. Hello, Ross. Nice to see you. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Steve. Hi, Bob Walker in Maryland. Hi, Jean. Hi, Carolyn. Oh, and your friend looking so pretty. Hi, Jamie in Victoria, British Columbia. Hi, Gary. Hi, Barb. Let's move on. Wonderful, wonderful day. Hello, Nancy N. and my favorite cow there. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Barb. Hello, Gary Posner. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Julie from Ontario. Hello, Michelle and Steve. Hello, Lessa. Hello, Tom in British Columbia. Hello, Sheila and Kachina and Sandra and Gwen. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Ann Lafferty. Hello, Steve in Baltimore. Hello, Jay Corbo. Hope I got your name right. Hey, Joni. Hi. Hello, Kim. Hello, Gwen. Hello. Good grief, so many people, so many people. Hello, Annette Perrone. Hello, Sophie Cameron. Hello. Wow. Welcome to another thrilling, fun, singing day. Hello, Storm. Hello, Harriet. I think I've gotten everybody. Hello, Steve Finner. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to turn things over so we can get started with the singing to Betsy.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm so excited to be here today on the Daily Antidote of Song, co-hosting with you. And this is Washington Revels Week, in case you missed that earlier. So thank you all for coming today. It's another great day, as Andrea said, thrilling Thursday. And we have some wonderful song leaders with us today, direct from Boulder, Colorado. So that's a fun and interesting fact. I do want to alert you to the fact that we have 3 more days after today of Washington Revels Week on the Daily Antidote of Song. And tomorrow we're going to hear from Jonathan Mulberg. On Saturday, Aaron Geyer. And on Sunday, Washington Revels Jubilee Voices will close out the week for us. So lots to look forward to. So please do come back. So as we embrace the warmer weather, and yesterday when I went outside, I was like, wow, it's hot. It's definitely warmer now. I want to tell you about some exciting things happening at Washington Revels this spring, which feels like it's almost gone now, and summertime. So these things are what we are trying to do to just keep the music alive as we look toward more reopening and more opportunities to maybe start doing some things in person. First, tomorrow evening, I want to make sure you know about the Carpe Diem Arts Washington Revels Community and Family Sing, which is online with hosts Dan and Claudia Zanes, who you've seen here many times. They are wonderful. And on that Community Sing, we're going to be celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. That's a mouthful, so I had to make sure I said it right. Also Jewish American Heritage Month, and Mother's Day, which happened already in May, but let's keep celebrating it because mothers are very important. Then on Saturday, we've talked about this also before, but we are releasing our Celebration of Spring, which I'm very excited about. And it's a virtual festival celebrating the greening of the year. And to learn about this and all the exciting events that are coming up, please visit the Washington Revels website. And I know that wonderful links are going into your chat right now. So if you need any of those links, Katie's going to be reminding you all along. So moving on to what's happening today, I am really excited to be welcoming Evanne, Browne, and John Butterfield into the room with a song that I think is guaranteed to pull at your heartstrings. I'm going to let them tell you about it though, so I'm not going to break the surprise. John and Evanne have known each other for 20 years, although they have only been married fairly recently. So they can tell you a little bit more about that later. But they've met through singing. So I love singing friendships and romances because Singing is one of those things that just brings people together. They both sing in a choir. They've actually been singing in that choir together that tours Europe and Buenos Aires. So lots to find out about there. And they were formerly residents of Arlington, Virginia, until very recently when they moved to Boulder, Colorado. They have been in several Christmas Revels shows together. In fact, they were married on stage before they were actually married for real. So, yet again, the Revels magic, bringing people together. Even in Boulder, Colorado, they are still contributing to what's happening here in Washington with Washington Revels. Evanne has been my assistant music director for several years now, and she's been doing that both in person and now via Zoom from Colorado. And in the celebration of spring, they've actually contributed some beautiful scenic shots from Boulder, Colorado, of mountains and streams and even wild mountain thyme. So I'm really excited that that's going to be part of our virtual celebration of spring. I've actually known, and I'm sorry this is going on so long, but I've actually known Evanne since the 1980s, when Evanne and I both sang together in Washington Revels. So she and I have a friendship that goes way back in time. It's just exciting as she's been in Boulder, Colorado, and back in Washington, D.C., and now back in Boulder, Colorado. It's just exciting that we can still connect thanks to Zoom. And I'm now going to hand things over to Evanne and John to tell you about their song, and let's get singing.
Good morning. It's actually still morning here in Boulder, Colorado, so good morning from Boulder. Evanne and I are going to be singing Danny Boy for you. We led revelers in Danny Boy a couple of months ago at a virtual pub sing-along. And it was appropriate then because we missed everything about St. Patrick's Day in person with our friends in DC after we moved back here to Boulder. But as we were thinking about it, I think that Danny Boy is even more appropriate today than on St. Patrick's Day, because we're finally seeing the waning of COVID in the United States. And I think we're all dealing with this intense desire to be with our families and our friends again. And that's what this song is really all about. It's the universal longing for closeness. It's one of the things that make us human. And one of the reasons that this ballad is so universally loved, I think, and so meaningful for these times in particular.
We absolutely think of Danny Boy as an Irish song, but it is an Irish folk melody. But the lyrics were written by an Englishman, Frederick Weatherly, and it was first set to the tune of Londonderry Air in 1913. I have to be careful with saying that because it's not Londonderry Air, but Londonderry Air in 1913, and that's the version we're going to sing today. So you should have the words in the chat if you can see that, or if you know them. We welcome you to sing along with all of it, not just the refrain. But we're going to do verse 1 and verse 2, and then we'll go back to the refrain, which is, "Oh, but come ye back when summer's in the meadow." So we'll do verse 1, verse 2, and end with the refrain. So please join us in singing.
Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny Boy, I love you so. But when ye come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say, and are they there for me? And I shall hear the soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be. For you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I will sleep in peace until you come to me. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
I just remembered we were supposed to teach it to you first, perhaps, but I think most people know it. If that wasn't familiar, hopefully by the time we get to the third refrain, you can sing along. Thank you.
Yeah, I think of all the songs that I can think of in life, I feel like everyone knows Oh Danny Boy. At some point in your life, you've sung it, heard it, cried to it, whatever. So thank you. I think that was wonderful to sing along with today. So I'm just going to have a little chat with you now, and I have a few things that I wanted to ask you about, even though I know some of them already. So you can tell us about yourselves, so that everyone else can know you. But you've already sort of talked about why you chose the song and kind of the meaning of it. So I would like to know a little bit more about the group that you sang in together, where you initially met each other, and just tell us about that group, because I didn't mention what its name was.
Okay, well, the group is called Musikanten, and it used to be based in Washington, D.C. It's now based in Helena, Montana, with Carrie Crable. And actually, John says that I was a soloist with the
Alexandria
Alexandria
Choral Society.
Choral Society when he was in it. So we go way back. Well, I'm not even sure when we first met. But Musikanten is a small chamber ensemble. It's a cappella in general, and does a lot of very early music and a lot of late music. And we have toured. John, you want to talk about a
Oh
couple of
gosh,
tours?
we've the group I say tours about every other year, I guess. And there are people now from, I say, people still in DC, people all over the country. As a matter of fact, people,
Get
and we've got
together.
somebody from Vienna who's come with us who used to live in the States. We've traveled to Venice. We've traveled to. We did a Mitteleuropalooza tour, we called it, where we went to Venice, Prague, and Budapest. We have been to Buenos Aires. Next one is Iceland, I guess it is. I have a poster from our concert in Venice that I
Venice.
peeled off a stone wall with my Swiss Army knife that has Evanne's name on it as a soloist. So
Which
that
I
was
have to say was pretty weird the first time I went to John's house to see my name on his mantle. So that was kind of strange. But it's as are all of the groups that you can sing with. And John and I have also sung in many others, alone, separately and together. But singing is something that, like Betsy said, brings us together, and it's a wonderful way to meet your community. And even if you don't end up married, then you have friends. I think the Revels friendship and community is incredible for that reason.
Yeah, well, I will say that Andrea Blackford and her husband Harold Blackford also sing together in many groups and in Washington Revels, and I think that they met through singing, not necessarily Washington Revels singing, but church singing, I believe, and and my husband and I also met in church choir. So
three. It's a
it,
10, right?
I gotta say, singing is it's a good thing to bring people together. So since we've been in a pandemic year and you guys are singers, tell us what it's been like to be a virtual singer and in fact a virtual music director over this past year.
Well, that's been a good challenge. I mean, the pandemic is a challenge. I'm not meaning to make that a small thing of that, but a number of groups have just stopped. And so a couple of groups that I would have sung with or John would have sung with are just non-existent. One of the positive things about the situation with the pandemic is this ability for us to participate virtually. So we started out the fall with Revels, and then when we moved in late October, we continued. I think we missed maybe one rehearsal, Betsy, when we were in a hotel somewhere on the way. But how miraculous that in a pandemic you can participate with a group that's 1,600 miles away. And that's just been a great pleasure to sing with Revels. The idea of virtual singing in and of itself is challenging. Betsy and I both know I had a church choir in Virginia and we tried to do some virtual singing. It's very difficult, and there's a whole lot of discussion about that many people are saying, well, this high school choir, this church choir, why aren't you doing one of those wonderful recordings? And it takes about 20 or 30 hours to do a 4-minute piece. So I hope that helps you appreciate too. And when you see the Revels virtual performances, just how much work goes into that. It's a completely different kind of work. But it's been wonderful to still be with Revels, and we'll see what happens next year. We're retired, so maybe we'll just have to come back every week for rehearsals. Do you want to add to that?
I would just say that while the pandemic it just crushed vocal live singing, live music overall.
Broadway.
One of the interesting things about it has been, it's called a creative community for a reason. And to see the creativity that was started from day one, really, when people said, we've got to figure out how to do this. And as Evanne says, and Betsy will attest, it's hard. It's really hard, the technical side. But yet, choirs are singing and doing it. But probably have had more contact with revelers on a regular basis doing this virtually than we did, a long time. Revels has gone from performances at Christmas and performances at May Day and the specialty things with the Jubilee Singers and like to performances every day, and that's
amazing.
It's really been something exciting to see.
I would say one other thing, just quickly, as a music director, because I've had Revels and other groups. It's very odd to be giving direction to a group that you can't hear because of the way that Zoom works. Every singer has to be on mute, just like we were when you were singing with us. So as a conductor, I have to be thinking, okay, make sure that T is on beat 3, because you have to anticipate what the mistakes are going to be. Or sometimes you can try to spot check, but it's really difficult. So you can't address things like diction, tuning, blend, accuracy of rhythm. It's very tricky. So when you hear, especially the lay people's version of church choirs and schools, their virtual recordings, just keep that in mind, that nobody could really fix the things that we as conductors would address, because you can't hear them and you don't have an ensemble. So it's challenging, and yet it's been an incredibly year of growth for me. I've learned so many software products I never imagined I would get into.
Yeah, well, and we've all learned to love Zoom in this
Yes,
this wonderful time. I was just going to add that the Daily Antidote of Song is like a beautiful, perfect example of the creativity that made this beautiful thing happen. That has allowed this community to be connected and have a daily opportunity to sing together. And so, yeah, again, it's the creativity and the vision in particular of Joe Rossi, which made this particular thing happen. And so let's just take a moment and thank you, Joe, for thinking this up and making it happen. So you mentioned retirement, and of course I've mentioned that you moved to Boulder, Colorado. So what, you retired during a pandemic, you moved during a pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about what prompted you to make those decisions?
Complete lack of practicality would be the start of it, I guess. Luckily, when Evanne moved to to Arlington to inexplicably decide to marry me. She kept her house in Boulder. That was a good thing. And when I retired, I've been to Boulder any number of times before we got married. And if I were to just try to describe the perfect town, it's Boulder. I mean, it's a small, thriving community. It's got a lively downtown. It's in the mountains. It's just all those things.
There are deer in the front yard.
Yeah,
John
deer in the
really
front
likes
yard.
that.
So we decided to do it, and there was no great time to do it, but we said let's take a road trip, and we drove 1,650 miles. And on the way, we stopped in Arkansas to see where Evanne's parents were born and grew up. We just went to Marysville, Kansas, see where my parents grew up. We went to a Buffalo Dude Ranch. We did all the things that you can do on the way from the long way from Arlington to Boulder. So it's been wonderful, and we're still putting the house together, still trying to figure out what we're doing, looking for the groups to here to sing with, working with Revels, hiking, and I'm sorry if I'm blithering, it's because I'm deliriously happy. So.
And we brought with us, do you see between us a little blue dragon?
I can ask you about that.
Yes, that came from the Revels stash of
beautiful.
props, I suppose. We got it at the Revels yard sale and packed it very carefully and told the movers they had to be really careful with it because it was a prize item. So we haven't quite figured out where it goes, but we wanted it here on our window today.
Yeah, I love how it's right between you as you're talking right now. And just you took a little Revels with you.
Yes, we did.
Which is wonderful. I'm going to hand things back to Andrea, who's going to continue us on here.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Evanne and John. That was beautiful. It was one of my favorite songs. It's something my mother used to sing to me when I was a baby. So I have the feels for that song. So to everybody out there and everybody live on Facebook, thanks for coming. I've got some other news that's coming up that I want to make sure you know about. And that's happening in Juneteenth. June 19th, the day that slavery was finally abolished in this country. And Washington Revels Jubilee Voices will be celebrating Juneteenth with a special program on the 19th, where we're going to look at some perspectives of our people, who we are, why we have the rituals we do, our stories, our ancestors. And it's going to be very, very, very fun. Bring your dancing shoes. Bring your voices. There's going to be a lot of wonderful things happening. Don't forget, however, the rest of our Washington Revels week on Daily Antidote of Song. We still got some more days left and some fantastic singers coming up. And then this Saturday, you're going to get the full experience by watching the Celebration of Spring which releases this Saturday on May 22nd. So you can watch that. So be sure to register for the free event on our website. And then there's tomorrow night's Community Sing. And it's kind of like this, but we have more song leaders, and it begins at 6:30 p.m. and you have a nice evening. So all are welcome. Links are in the chat. Just plan to be with us all week. Pull up a chair, get a cup of tea, and sing. It's going to be wonderful. And all the links are in the chat here and on Facebook Live. So I have to hear that again. I'm sorry. So John and Evanne, can you sing that one more time for us?
You want the whole thing or the reprise?
The reprise.
The reprise, okay.
But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Beautiful. And what a beautiful story to go along with it. I've just recently met you two virtually, and it's been wonderful. I can't wait to see you in person someday. We're going to make that happen. So everyone here and on Facebook Live, thanks again for joining us for our Washington Revels Week in the Daily Antidote of Song. And please join us tomorrow for Jonathan Muehlberg, and look for the chat for links to our Celebration of Spring, Community Sing, and our Juneteenth events. Thank you all. It's been lovely. Oh, what a day. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And Betsy,
Thank you.
it's time to say goodbye.
It's time to say goodbye, which is so sad, but we're going to hear all your names and as soon as I get myself back on the gallery, there we go. So thank you, Evanne and John. Goodbye to you, but thank you for being here today. I so enjoyed hearing more about everything that you're doing and hearing that wonderful song. Thank you, Andrea Blackford, for co-hosting. Thank you, Katie Abadou, for your wonderful tech work. Thank you, Deli, for being here. Dan Walker from Vienna, Virginia. Thank you, Al Christians. Goodbye, Arlene Baxter from Berkeley. Bye-bye, Kathleen from Albuquerque and Sarah Page from Texas. See you later, Carolyn Quant. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, too. And Bonnie. And Bob Walker from Maryland. And Carolyn Wolf. And Gary. Nice to see you today. Hi, Fred. I love your fuzzy, your beautiful vignette background. Bye-bye, Annette and Sheila from Florida. Nice to see you, Storm. And see you later, Dion and Jane from Silver Spring. And Deborah. Nice to see you, Deborah. Hello and goodbye, Martha. See you later, Michelle and Steve. And Jamie from Victoria. And hello, Busy Graham. Nice to see you today. And bye-bye. And all of a sudden, I've got some things that came up on top of Sheila. So bye-bye, Sheila. Nice to see you today. Thomasina, so great to see you. And Kathy M. And Mabel and Bob in Massachusetts. And hey, Jojo, nice to see you and goodbye today. Hi, Kirsten, Sophie, Kate. Goodbye to Kate and Karen and Suzanne and Kim and Harriet and Cricket in Silver Spring. I think I got everybody. The goodbyes are hard because they're moving around as you're leaving the room. So nice to see you all today, and hopefully I'll see many of you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again, Joe, for making all this happen.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Evanne and John. That was fabulous. Thank you, Katie, and goodbye to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for being with us. We can't wait to sing with you again tomorrow, and take care till then.